She gets caught every time.
But God, it feels real. I think Hippolyta knows we lied to her. If she's going where this thing's leading her, she's in danger. I want to know everything. Freedom, now that I'm tasting it. I see what I was robbed of. I am Hippolyta. I am Hippolyta.
What's
Hey,
up?
hey! What's cracking? Happy Sunday. Welcome, y'all. Welcome to the Watch Party on the Hit List Network. I'm your boy, Azakiwi.
I'm Lydia.
I'm your boy, Brian St. John.
I'm your girl, Lorena L. Bell. What's up?
And it's another Sunday.
And you ripping papers.
I'm ripping papers. I'm doing all. I got a new background.
You blonde?
I'm blonde.
You're blonde.
I'm blonde. You know, it's
Right.
interesting times. How y'all doing? How's y'all week?
Busy, good.
Yeah,
good.
we're busy. What's cracking? What you busy with? What's happening?
Oh, my after school program. You know, we start up on Tuesday virtually. So just gearing up for that. A lot of work. I had trainings for work. And I also squeezed in the Urban World Film Festival when I could. Today I was binging on, you know, some films or whatever. And yeah, so it was a busy week.
Yeah, just to piggyback on the Urban World, it you know, this is my, I don't know, sixth year going. This is the first year everything is virtual. So it started on the 23rd?
Yes.
23rd or 22nd through tonight. Tonight's the closing night. Everything was virtual, panels, movies, shorts, animation. There was too many movies to consume. Too many. And so I'm finding myself, I'm traveling, I'm looking at the phone and the computer in between meetings and Zoom. So many of the damn things are in foreign languages, so I'm trying to split my attention and look at the screen. But overall, it was another great year. My only complaint was it's hard to navigate. Like we were talking about trying to navigate the controls and find the films and stuff like that. But I applaud them. You know, you gotta crawl before you walk. You gotta bump your head a little bit, and so. But overall, I thought it was successful.
So did I. It was good. It was good.
Well, hopefully next year we're back in movie theater, whatever movie theaters are left in New York, because most of them all of them are closed. So
yeah, I'm not mad at how they did it. This was just a busy weekend. If it wasn't, I would have been able to really dive. But you know, nevertheless, I enjoyed it. How you all doing, Lorena B?
Good. Friday I celebrated 25 years at Warner Music Group. So
congratulations!
Yes.
Yeah, it seems like it doesn't seem like 25. It still seems like yesterday when we all went to the Palladium and the Supper Club, and you know we're doing our thing together at a lot of these events. But time flies. You know, it's I'm still holding on strong, still there. So you know. But what about you, Lorena? How are you doing?
You know, I'm doing good. I just been, you know, I've been getting more consistent about my workout grind. You know, I've been getting it in.
We see.
You know, I've been getting it in, and I just, you know, I'm making it. It's a part of my lifestyle, and so you know, it's not. You know, it's not just about, obviously you want to look good, you want to feel good, but I get like a mental release, you know, because you know we're in the house and this pandemic, and I find that if I don't do some sort of workout, my energy changes. Like my energy is kind of low, and so you know I've been really enjoying the workout. Something in my head clicked and was like, you gotta stay consistent, you gotta do it. And so I've been enjoying it, like, you know, and And I watched this weekend. I watched the Antebellum. I know we're not talking about that this week.
It was good, wasn't it?
But we'll have to talk about it in another time. It was
I think she said it was okay.
It was just okay for me. You know, we can chat about it another time. It was delightful. I was, watched it. Got my $2 off.
Delightful.
I don't think that's the right word for that movie.
It was good. It was good, but it was
act
just,
like it was like Sound of Music.
Delightful. Yeah.
Right. Delightful is.
I'm trying to be nice. Anyway,
you can keep it real. If you didn't like it, you didn't like it.
No, I didn't. You know what? I feel like it was like right in the middle for me. Like there was some parts where I was like, okay, can I fast forward? I was like, why is she still sitting? And I had some questions, but for what it was, I thought it was okay. It's a good show to watch, like Saturday night, a little Saturday night show, but it didn't fit the horror spectrum for me. It was suspenseful, not horror.
I don't know if it was necessarily supposed to have been horror.
Right.
It was supposed to be horror.
Okay, because some people were saying it was horror, and
no, it wasn't supposed to be a horror. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. I did watch that. I remember Brian and Sydney saying that they watched it, and so I was like, let me go ahead and watch this. I got to catch up on Ratchet. I've seen a lot of people writing about Ratchet.
Yeah,
so I got to catch
great.
up on that.
Ratchet was great, and I started watching Utopia on Amazon Prime, which first episode I was like, am I buying into this? And then I finished out the episode because my cousin said everyone's been raving about it, and I finally finished out the first episode and got to 2. I'm all in. I'm 100% into Utopia, so it's really good so far.
What's up with you?
You guys would like it too because of the whole comic book aspect of it and story of it. It's kind of Boise, but not at the same time. So you mean
they're not ripping arms off?
It's kind of
the
Boise,
boys.
but not. Yeah,
the boys had me like.
Yeah,
for real.
Alrighty, and scene. Okay, so let's now get into the shows at hand. Lovecraft Country. Who's kicking it off?
Okay, so this is episode 7, and I'm reading it actually from my TV. That's why I'm looking over there. So episode 7 is titled I Am. Hippolyta's search for answers takes her on a multi-dimensional journey of self-discovery. And that's exactly what it was.
Okay. Every week we say the same thing. Oh my God, this damn show. Oh my God, this damn show. It's a broken record. And this week it's the same thing again. It's the same damn thing again. Okay. If I'm an actor in Hollywood, black actor in particular, this show is the best show to work on.
The best.
From an acting standpoint, because you sign up, let's say one of Brian's favorite series is Grey's Anatomy. You sign up for a show, you're in the doctor show. And so that's your world. It's nothing but doctors. Or you sign up for Utopia, whatever that's about, and you're in that space. Here, you're in everything. You can be a woman fighting for civil rights in the 50s, and then you can be in Wakanda as one of the Dormelage, or you could be in space with aliens. Like, there's so much range and depth and just out of your mindness with this show that you go from A to Z and back and forth again in the acting range that you couldn't ask for anything else as an actor to be on. Like this damn show.
I would have to agree with you for especially for the character who plays Hippolyta, because I was saying to myself as I was watching tonight's episode, especially to be an older actress, who they probably wouldn't get like a lot of these type of roles.
No, these roles don't exist. I'm agreeing with you.
Just for older act. No, I'm looking at Lydia and
I know
no, but the way you older act, like she's not like
no, because
70.
She's not 70, but what I'm saying is these type of roles are normally given to younger actors. Yes. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, we got it. You're right.
So what I'm saying is for a person of a seasoned age,
Thank you.
This is the type of role that I'm sure she had a lot of fun with because she got to play in so many different characters that she probably would never have gotten before.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm saying.
I gotta agree with Brian. Like, first of all, I love sci-fi. Like, I'll watch a sci-fi B movie on the Sci-Fi Channel. Like, I'll watch pretty much any kind of sci-fi show.
Right. Like Aquaman, right?
Anything, yep.
No, pump your brakes, Sid. Always try to come in with the Aquaman, but I did like Aquaman. I didn't love it. I didn't love it.
It's okay.
I didn't love it.
But you liked it.
I did like it. Look, and go. So I just for me, this show, you don't know what you're gonna get. I feel like we get a new sci-fi episode every week. And just kind of piggybacking off of what Brian said about Anju, what is her name? Ingenue. So for her specifically, like, I really feel like this is such a meaty role and there's such a range that she has. I mean, first of all, starting off where she's driving down the road to this French song. I don't know if that was foreshadowing that she was going to be in Paris later, but she's a Black woman driving this car by herself, listening to French music. That in itself, I'm like, that typically we don't see that on TV because it's so cultured. And then she sees coming up in her rear another Black woman riding like a motorcycle, and she looks like, hey, girl. For me, I felt like that was also a little bit of foreshadowing about like what we were gonna see in developing developing her character. And it was just, I sat there like, well, the end, I was like, what the fuck y'all doing? But I sat there through most of it. The end with them aliens. Okay, we'll get into it, I guess, later. I was like,
no, you done gone through the whole thing. So
I didn't go through the whole thing.
Like, you are going.
You in it now.
All I'm saying is, I sat there the whole time like, wow, look at how much they're fleshing out her character. With the numbers. Like, I was like, I didn't even realize that she was a mathematician.
Hold on. Can you sit up, please?
This fool here.
Shit.
Yeah.
Hey, Lorena.
I'm just saying, I was piggybacking. I mean, I think for an actress like herself, I mean, like Brian said, like, this is definitely a really meaty, well fleshed out, well written character. And I love it. I want to see more of it. Like, I hope the ratings are going off the roof so they can make more of stuff like this for us and everybody else who likes to watch it too.
One of the other things, I just want to touch on one thing too, because one of the other things that I really loved about what they did tonight with her character was physically showing her body. And I thought that was another empowerment thing that they did tonight that I thought was a great thing. Because normally in Hollywood, your body has to be fit and trim and figure eight and everything like that. And I just thought that it was a great empowerment thing that they also did tonight by physically showing her her body.
I agree.
Yes, I want to note Neil. Hey Neil. Put in there, and I was trying to remember the woman's name on the motorcycle, the Black woman on the bike. He said the Black woman on the bike was Bessie Stringfield. That was a real person.
I gotta look her up because I don't know.
Yeah, look her up. She was a real person. She was, back, where it was like she rode a motorcycle, and back then that was unheard of. And I think
Neil.
Go ahead, Sid.
No, go ahead.
I gotta look up. Can you finish? Can you continue talking about that?
Forget it. So like I was saying, for me, I literally sat here like a little kid on Saturday morning watching some like movie made for kids or something. I was so intrigued with this episode. Like, and like you were saying, Lorena, how they literally fleshed out Hippolyta's character right before our eyes. I just thought like it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. And all of the, you know, little the foreshadowing that they did with the, you know, with the, like you said, the French music and the woman riding the bike, and, you know, the fact that she had her daughter's little comic book, that was like almost like foreshadowing that she was about to go into this whole realm and this world or whatever. So I love how they were setting us up, you know, the whole time with this. And I mean, it just, we could actually look at this and see ourselves. When she did, you know, when she talked about how, when she was talking to George, when she was in that realm and talking to him about how, yo, I shrunk myself. I shrunk myself so I can fit in to whatever world you had laid before me. How many Black women can attest to that? Because we're told that our personalities are too big and we're just too much. And just, what, can you tone it down a bit? And can you be this small or whatever? So, you know, just hearing those things, it just literally made me feel like, oh my gosh, they're telling my story. They're telling all of us, they're telling our story. And just how she went into the different like realms. I'm just calling it realms because I don't know what else to call it. When she catapulted to Josephine Baker, I was like, she's the perfect person. Josephine was groundbreaking back in the day. They didn't know what to do with her. That's why she went to Europe, because they actually embraced her, you know, independence and outrageousness and stuff like that. And then, you know, when she went into the warrior princess thing and then ended up with George, like the whole map of it, I just loved it. I absolutely loved it. And they took their time with it. We stayed on Hippolyta pretty much the whole time. I loved it. I absolutely do. I know I say that for almost every episode, but this was brilliant.
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback on what, you know, Lydia said
over there.
Yeah. Hi, doggy. There's a dog for those listening. There's a dog in Asakiwi's little box, a little cute white dog, very cute. So when she was talking to George about her smallness, it made me think back when you were talking about it, Lydia, to her conversation with Josephine Baker and how she said that, you know, she hates white people, you know, and the reason why she hated them, you know, and wanted to kill them was because of how insignificant they made her feel, how they made her feel like she had to shrink. And it just made me think about what our people went through during that time, and you know, male and female, and having to, you know, really compartmentalize who you were. You know, you're this way with your black safe community, but when you venture out into that white world, you had to be a certain way in order to live, in order to make it home. And actually, there's some parallels into 2020, if we can, you know, but you know, I felt that conversation with her and Josephine, like, to my core. It was so powerful how it was delivered. And I really loved how they fleshed out her character.
Yeah.
Lorena, can you, I'll let that noise go by. Lorena, can you give us the description of Bessie Stringfield?
Oh, yeah. So Bessie Stringfield was an American motorcyclist who was the first African-American woman to ride across the United States solo, and was one of the few civilian motorcycle dispatch riders for the U.S. Army during World War II. Again, they given us some history. Did we say that?
Every single episode.
They do it every week.
Every time.
And it's sort of, it's an Easter egg that you're looking for now in every episode. I'm sitting there and I'm, you know, we don't have the benefit of doing research after, because we go on directly following the credit scene. And so I'm sitting there when the French song was playing. I'm like, okay, what is this song? And or the little narrative that was going on. I'm like, who is speaking? Who is that? I wish I could Shazam that conversation. I'm like, who is this? What is this? What does this mean?
Yeah.
But I totally didn't see Bessie Stringfield. I didn't know what that was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't know either.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember her name.
Yes, thank you.
And Lorena. So let's talk about let's get into, who do we want to start with? Let's talk about Ruby and Christina, and how their relationship is deepening, and we're getting a lot of answers explained in their exchange. And I love to see that Ruby is going to be a pivotal force in this, I think, in the magical realm of the show. Any thoughts, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, we find out that what was his name again?
William.
That William was actually a real person. Because I thought
and the other lady.
And the other lady was real. Yeah.
Right.
And so that was kind of interesting to find out, because all this time I thought that magic kind of concocted William and the other lady. Well, not really the other lady, really more so William, because he was the one that she kept switching into. So it's just interesting to see how the dynamics of that came about, and how she really does have feelings for Ruby. And she kind of picked Ruby because of some sort of connection that she has with Ruby to offer her the potion and everything like that, you know. And also we find out that Ruby finds out about the Book of Secrets. Is it Book of Secrets, Book of Names?
Book of Names.
The Book of Names from her as well, because she explains the whole story. Because Ruby's like, yo, I want to know the truth. Like, you've been lying to me this whole time. I want to know why you've been lying to me and what's behind all of this. So finally she reveals the truth. So Ruby kind of gets an understanding of what's happening, not just between their relationship,
but
also
picture.
The bigger picture with her sister and Atticus and just everybody. So I think Ruby's a little more, she's awake now. And she has this understanding of, okay, I got to really figure out what everybody's into, because she sees everyone doing their little thing, but she didn't understand what was going on. So now at least she has some sort of understanding. And I think she's going to try and figure it out herself.
It's also, keep in mind, we're dealing with the 1950s. So their scope of reality is so much smaller than ours in 2020. You know, where our imagination is our limitation. Then their reality is this big. And so trying to comprehend magic, monsters, time travel, like all these different things, it's just like there's no concept of that in that time frame. You know, where your biggest thing is just dealing with race. Now you're adding all these other elements into it, so your mind is just totally blown. So it's just crazy to see it. And so my thing when I'm watching it, I'm like, if everybody could just sit down and have a conversation, it will all fit together, all the pieces. It's like they all have pieces of the puzzle, and no one is talking to one another to bring the full thing into scope.
Well, they're all dysfunctional.
Well, not yet.
Right.
Issues with each other. Yeah.
Right.
And they all got to come into their own before they can all come together and solve what the hell is going on. They each got to really figure out themselves thoroughly. You know what I mean? So they can see how they fit into the big picture, the big puzzle.
Christina also finally tells Ruby that this involves her family. We don't hear the rest of that conversation, but now she knows that her sister is involved in this whole thing with the magic in some way.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Because I was trying to piece it together, because the whole show has been focusing on Atticus's bloodline. But I'm like, where does Letitia come into this? Especially with her having the dream, and then they're alluding that she may be pregnant now with Atticus's baby, maybe.
Right.
And so I'm like, what is happening? Or in that pregnancy, is that where she's getting the premonition because now
I think now she's connected to Atticus.
Now she's connected to Atticus.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Because clearly she's pregnant. She can't even, she loves garlic and she's about to throw up.
Right. That was that when that scene happened when Ruby said taste this or smell this and she was like, she had that reaction. I said, okay, she's pregnant.
Yeah. And Atticus was her first, so
yeah. Like imagine getting pregnant the first time you have sex. That's crazy.
Hey.
Anyway.
Back then, I don't think they had condoms back then.
Right. Who knows? Okay, so let's dive into the juice, which is Sammy and Montrose. This relationship, Montrose is fucked up.
Well, I mean, he's been hiding. Yeah, he's been hiding the whole time. He's been living this double life. So even though he's slowly starting to come into who he is, he still got issues with it. You know?
My gosh.
He has emotional issues.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Lydia. I think he was a closeted gay man, living in a world where.
I say he's fucked up because of all the abuse and what. Not because he's closeted. It's because of his circumstance, like what he's doing, what he's going through. That's why I'm saying he's fucked up.
Yeah.
There's a lot that he has to deal with, a lot that, he has not told his son. And now he's, with Sammy, and Sammy is all like, okay, I'm all in. We doing this. I cook breakfast. And then he starts the attack on him as they're eating breakfast and then Sammy tells him, every time you see us getting close, you start throwing daggers at me or whatever. You know what I mean? And that's a part of him being messed up emotionally over this. You know what I mean? So again, they're peeling away layers from him as well.
Right.
Go ahead.
He came out the closet in terms of his sexuality, but he's still holding this major secret. Within Lovecraft. And so that's another thing that is eating him up, because whatever he's trying to protect Atticus from, he hasn't revealed what that is. And so we don't know the burden that he's carrying within the family line of magic or whatever it is. So he's still closeted in that sense as well.
Right.
Right. Yeah, no, I was just gonna say you could see the switch flip when Sammy mentions that he ran into the neighbor Beatrice. Even though he ran into Beatrice at the bus stop, it wasn't
Shout
in the
out
building.
For you knowing the name.
Because all of a sudden you could see the whole mood shift.
His whole mood shifted.
He was like, he was like, this eggs is ready. And Sammy was like, you gonna tell me the coffee too wet? I was like, yeah, Sammy, get him, Sammy, get him, because it's like you wanna be in this relationship, but then as soon as you find out that I talked to someone that now you feeling defensive. Like, which way is it? And I understand
because it becomes close to home again. Right now we're still in this fantasy of, we're waking up together. I let you sleep over. Nobody knows about us. We're in the comforts of my own home with the two of us together, and the outside world they're still not knowing what's going on here. Once you run into Beatrice in the street and you have a conversation with her, whoa. That becomes close to home, too close to home now. So then, that's when the whole, like, I agree with you, Lorena, start nitpicking. I don't eat bacon. I don't eat this. Sammy knows what you like. You and Sammy have been together for a while now. Sammy knows that your likes and your dislikes, even when you guys were really just doing it on the fly, you still had that connection because clearly there was a bond between the two of them. So it's just that now sorry, car passing. So now it's just that he has he's catching feelings, but he doesn't want to catch feelings at the same time because he's still living in a closeted world.
Right. I mean, the world is not safe. It still isn't for
1950.
Right.
It really wasn't.
A black or white, anyone to be homosexual. And so, when he pisses Sammy off and Sammy's like, forget this, I'm out of here. That whole scene when he runs into Letty and Atticus in the hall,
it was like,
Letty was like,
yo, I guess.
I did too.
Right along with
yeah. No, because I immediately went to the time. Like, because say if that happened today, it's still shocking, but the 1950s, it's unheard of.
Like,
it's unheard of.
Right.
And it's his,
so your mind is just like, what?
It's his, and it's his dad.
And then Atticus saw his whole life flash in front of him, like, you beat me. You constantly beat me, saying I was too soft and you didn't want me, but you weren't beating me. You were beating yourself.
Yeah. And I think that's what Atticus saw and was more so affected with than the fact that his father was gay. I think it was just all the beatings came into his head, and that's what really pissed him off, and that's what got him upset the most. To me, I feel.
And I agree. He was beating him because he hated himself. He couldn't be free. Even his wife knew he was gay, and he still couldn't be free to be who he wanted to be. I mean, think about it. I mean, you're a Black person during this time. You can't be a Black person who is free to be yourself just as a regular Black person. Then you got this other layer of your sexuality. So you are like, you get beat down by society on so many levels. Like I actually feel for Montrose because I really couldn't even fathom how he survived. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, that's a lot to handle.
Again, it goes back to the show in terms of acting. It's what experience can you have having this opportunity to act in this kind of realm?
Right.
It's crazy.
Because he took his shirt off. He said, I'm still your father.
Yes.
Well, at the end of the day, see, you have to respect the fact that that's still your father.
Right. And that was powerful. That whole scene. He was
maybe.
He was like, oh no, you're not gonna come here and disrespect me. Like, you're not gonna
call me out my name.
I was like,
I love the fact that they're tackling this, and we got introduced to this whole concept, I think, in Watchmen, when we saw the hooded Avenger was actually Black, and then he was gay, and he liked the white guy, and that was during wasn't that around the same time period? The 50s?
I think so, but I can't remember.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I just draw the reference because it was the same time zone, because they were it all started with the Tulsa massacre, and the Lovecraft people are descendants from that massacre, and so both shows to me tie in. You know.
Welcome, special guest.
Special guest. But you know, I love
me this time, everybody.
No, it was still you. In addition, I just added to it. That's all. Is there any other highlights that you guys want to bring up from it?
From the whole show?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what the significance is. I mean, obviously, when Atticus travels to St. Louis and he meets Ethel's friend, he gets to see a picture of his cousin Ethel, and she has this tattoo, which he discovers that he has.
It's not a tattoo; it's a birthmark.
A birthmark.
Oh, it's a birthmark.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I thought it was a tattoo. So I'm interested in seeing where they go with that piece, and then obviously with Letty's pregnancy.
Well, I think with that, he's trying to figure out the whole bloodline, because he's trying to find the book of names, So he's investigating all of this to get to to figure out where the Book of Names is, because he's still trying to get to that. So he's just investigating the whole bloodline, because through the dreams and everything like that, he's taking all this to an investigation. So,
right.
Oh, and remember, Diana's book is under the police officer at the end.
Yo, when I saw that,
wait,
said,
what?
Diana's comic book,
the comic book
is under the dead officer, and it's signed by her at the end. Her name, her full name. They put her government name on that.
Yes. Right. Yes. What does that mean?
They gonna be coming to their house.
They gonna come after them because
the police are
I didn't get that. Okay, I didn't get that.
It looked like they came to check on his device. You know, because they just showed up. Remember, because the police is in on this magic stuff too. You know,
I think the police knew that it was on as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what alerted them that something happened.
That's why they came. So that's when they ran into Hippolyta. And then, you know, Atticus came in at some point to fight.
What city is it?
St. Louis.
Mayfield.
They're in Mayfield.
Right, because I was like, how did Atticus get there so quickly?
I didn't understand that either.
It's still in Missouri, maybe. Maybe that where she is in Missouri. I don't know.
Atticus took a bus to St. Louis, Lorena.
Right.
How did he get to Mayfield?
Because it's a TV show. It's a TV show.
Mayfield is in what state?
That's what I'm saying. It's probably in the same state, Missouri. But he don't got no cars, what Brian is saying. So how did he get there? He borrowed the older lady who gave him more
and where she went to was way out in the woods.
Out in the field. So she went out to where the planetarium microscope thing was or whatever. And it's out in the field. So I was like, wait a minute. Where did Atticus come from?
The old lady who gave him more mac and cheese, she let him borrow her car. That's what I came out.
So, but still, that was really quick.
That lady did not look like she drove anymore.
So they fight, and then Hippolyta shoots one of the officers. He dies, but underneath him is the daughter's comic book. And so they end on that scene, and I was like, "Oh my God, they're gonna find her."
And she became the daughter's comic book. She became the astronaut.
That's what I mentioned earlier.
Part of my issue. That's part of my issue. Part of my issue.
Yeah, I was there for most of it. Then I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, especially when I saw the comic book at the end, I was just like, "So wait, this whole dream sequence was the comic book?" That was part of my issue.
That's why I mentioned it earlier when she was in the car and she picked up the comic book and looked at it. That was a little foreshadowing into, now she's going on this fantastic voyage, you know, via the ideas that her daughter came up with. And also spoke to when Lorena mentioned the French music, and so it all tied into her experience later on.
I mean, part of my issue was it felt like it got a little silly at a certain point with the little, you know, with them going and seeing the little aliens that walked up and gave them. I was just like, I could have did without this part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, no, it stayed within the time frame, because think about it. If you ever watched Outer Limits or Twilight Zone. And so when they show outer space or aliens, you know, they didn't bring it up to date to our aliens. They brought in the aliens of the 50s.
I know, but it was still a little like.
But it's gonna be cheesy because we're looking at it now through our eyes, looking back then.
Right.
And that is an aspect of this show, the little kookiness that they bring to it, like the sci-fi kookiness part of it or whatever.
But you know what? But even in that same vein, like they did the little Martians in the 50s, but then they had like Black Shearer from 2020. Because that was a futuristic Black Shearer.
No, that wasn't 20. No, that wasn't futuristic. That was past. That was
that
that was
afro was
Africans
passed.
and
Yeah.
that was past.
The lady in the
No,
in
you're
the
talking about the
spaceship.
warriors.
No, I'm not talking about the warrior. I'm talking about the lady in space, the tall black lady with the Nona Hendrix.
Okay, I'm gonna let you finish.
And the little, I don't know. Go ahead.
I always take a little piece from every alien movie I see, and it reminded me of Jodie Foster's movie called Contact, where the alien they never showed the physical alien, but the alien tapped into your brain and made themselves into an image that you can handle.
That's your right.
Okay, and I looked at that in this. That I'm going to tap into her psyche and appear as something that she can see. It's sort of like when we think of God, right? We look at God created in our own image. So now we see God as black, but white people say God is blonde, blue-eyed, but it's all in the image and what we see.
Right. Which that's the connection. And that's the connection.
Right, and why the alien looked like that. Because it's so easy for us to imagine a European looking alien. That's what we always see.
No, I really wasn't saying the European. I was just really making the connection about the little aliens, and it was kind of silly with how they looked. And then we had the powerful black Shira alien. That's all I was just saying with the comparison of you were saying it was more so like the 50s. I was saying the way I looked at the black alien, to me, she seemed very modernistic. That was all I was saying. Not that, not that she had to be white, but,
Yeah, for me, I just felt okay, enough, tap out. I get it. Come on, let's keep it moving. I just felt like it went on just a little too long in the whole world of realm of sci-fi. After a while, I was just okay, tap out.
That's how
Bring
I felt.
It back. Yeah,
that's how I felt.
I think we heard you. 1, 2, 3. I was there for it because we don't see it. We don't get to see this at all. So for me, I'm give it to me. Give me more. I can take 5-10 minutes of a scene that we've never seen before. A black woman, sci-fi in space, fantasy. This is all brand new material that I'm watching. So give it to me. Don't cut it short just because it's the scene is running too long. No, I'm here for it. We can go into some other show, into Power Book and be in the regular world, every other day. But I'm nah, give me the sci-fi. Give me Marvel Universe where they going into the multiverse, where she's going into different dimensions, and you got the ancient 50s aliens, and then she goes into another dimension, and you got another one.
Boy, here we go. And
see. What were you saying, Lydia, before?
maybe now I can finish a thought.
Yay! Ding dong, the witch is dead. The witch is dead.
Sydney is, just for those who are listening, Sydney is frozen in time. He's like that black space alien. Go ahead, Lynn.
Yeah, he's in Virginia, everybody. So
he'll be back.
He's not in his usual spot. He'll be back. Yeah.
So to his point about I feel the same way. I want it all. I want all the quirkiness. I want all the weirdness. I want, you know what I mean? Because it's just something that we just don't see on TV. Brian had brought up before too, and I just want to jump back for a little bit when Ingenue was nude. She woke up and I almost started crying because that's not what Hollywood does. They don't show women, real women. They don't show that. Yeah. Scars, roles, this, that, and all. And I just looked at her and I was like, she's absolutely beautiful. And I applaud them for giving the space for that. We don't see it. And also it's like, you know, the alien character you were talking about with the big fro. Again, I understand your point, but to me, this show, we know it as being big and all out and just crazy and whatever. So when I see that, I'm like, oh my gosh, give it to me. Give me more. Give me all of it. I'll take the quirkiness. I'll take that bigness of it all, because we don't get to see our people in this kind of, you know,
you're right,
realm. So I'll take it, you know.
Well, drink it up. There's only 3 more left.
You know what? I definitely, you know what? I definitely agree. You know, I'm glad you revisited the point that Brian brought up about her being nude. You know, when they first showed her on the table, I was like, oh, we're about to see the nipples. And then when they did the wider shot, I
was like,
oh, just love. I just want to give her a hug. Like, she just looked comfortable. I was like, okay, Hollywood. I said, yes, let's see.
I applauded them
real
for that.
bodies. And I applauded her for doing it.
I did that too. Yes. That was big.
Because she could have opted out and been like, I don't feel comfortable showing my body because I don't got the 6-pack. I'm not like how Hollywood wants women. Because see, Hollywood they don't let women actresses age. Men can age, they can get tummies, bald head, but the women gotta stay real tight. You know, they gotta be like teeny tiny. And so that was just, it was phenomenal. Like, I was just like, let's see. Oh, Neil Muhammad said, oh, they literally stripped her down to build her back up.
Yes,
Neil.
I'm not giving him an applause for that. But good call, Neil. That's my cousin.
Neil, don't be a hater on your cousin, Brian.
Yes, Neil, you are on point with that. You definitely are.
Yeah. And I do agree with you, Lydia, about, you know, the show is big. They go over the top. So you are right. You are right, definitely in that aspect. And, you know, for me at a certain point, I was like, okay, how many little alien leaves we gonna pull off? And her outfit, was there significance in the planets being around her outfit? Did you see where she was floating? There was the planets like the machine around her outfit.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it was part of the machine, symbolizing the machine.
Okay,
that's what I thought. That it was just a connection, you know, to that. But I want to just mention a side note real quick. So on the Urban World Film Festival, they had a panel discussion, and they had a gentleman who was a prop master named JP. They had the choreographer. Her name was Jamila, I think. I probably not. I can't remember their names. And they had a woman who was the designer. And so they were talking about what they do and their role in this. And it was absolutely amazing. One of the things they talked about, like JP, the prop master, he was saying how, he's like, he actually does, like, he's seeing the episodes when we're seeing it. He said, because when we're seeing, you know, we're seeing 5, for instance, they were already working on episode 6 or something like that. So he was like an episode ahead. They all were. But he broke down about how he is in charge of all the props.
Okay.
Oh
well, I guess
good to hear.
It wasn't me this time, and you know, I wanted to make sure she got all her thoughts, but the god said, nope.
Thank you, sir.
So go ahead, Lydia.
Now I got some of Cindy's Wi-Fi whack juice over here.
Lydia, you were saying about the props. Oh my God.
It's not just me. The universe agrees with me. Cut her off.
Yo, oh my God,
real
Lydia.
Nice, Sid. That's real
Lydia,
nice.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make that side note that it was just an interesting conversation. Thanks, Sid.
Woo. Jesus, tonight won't be just any night. Okay, that's West Side Story. West Side Story for y'all who didn't know.
Yes, we know. We all grew up with West Side Story.
Don't get stank. The listeners may not know Brian.
Okay, Maria.
Yeah, y'all got it out? Y'all got it out your system?
I know you're not talking.
We're waiting on you.
Okay, all right. No, I'm giving y'all space to breathe and get out your thoughts. Lydia?
We was breathing when you was offline, Sid.
I know. I'm giving you more air.
Thank you so much.
Breathe. So you can never say I don't give you space. Here's the space.
Mm-hmm.
What you want to talk about?
This is lasting too long.
Okay, let's go on to the rating. Lydia?
5.
Lorena?
4.275.
B?
3.7.
I'm gonna say 4. I have to watch it again. I had a lot of distractions, so there's a lot of things that I missed.